Live. Hey guys, Julie here, and we are letting it all hang out. Episode number 24. I hope you all caught that because I just saw the live button go live, so maybe we did not catch it. We've got a great panel again today, and Scott, just a quick congratulations. This is our 24th episode, which, if I'm doing the math correctly, puts us at about 6 months. How does that feel for you?
Yeah, it's awesome. Really good.
And the rest of you guys, I mean, you guys have been here just about as long as we have, and it's been a pleasure, and it's been a great ride, and I'm really excited about this whole endeavor. I'm glad we started it, and I'm excited to keep it going. So let's say a quick hello to everybody. Steve Greenhouse, your Wi-Fi seems to be doing good. How are you doing today? No?
For today?
You jinxed him.
Okay. We lost Steve. He's there. We see him. I know he's listening, but he can't hear us. But he can do sign language.
Yeah, can yeah.
Headbanging.
Sri Pavaraju, how you doing, young man?
Oh, I'm doing awesome. Thanks, Yuli, for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks
I
for being
almost didn't make it, but I just couldn't do without coming on to this webinar.
Yeah. Oh, you got the lower third. Look at you. You are fast. Holy cow.
The only time I learn is by doing it right, otherwise I forget.
Yeah, you are the. I'm gonna Sri the Take Action Man Pavaraju, because that was the quickest. That might have been the quickest setup I've ever seen.
It is like watching the news.
It is. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yes,
Going to Sri.
I don't know. Are you muted? I don't think you're muted. So Steve says everything's working on his end, but we cannot hear him.
No.
I heard him before, so maybe he'll pop back in.
Steve,
somehow.
you seem to be, your picture's freezing a lot as well, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
a broadband issue.
Jump up and down, see if we can see it. Maybe you could just hang in the air and be like, that's a sneeze. Oh, we have Sandra Lemming, our sister from Down Under. How are you doing today?
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty good. Yuli, I'm pretty good. It's a bit cold down here for me, but it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Looking forward to summer.
Yeah, that's what, you're far off on summer, or you're just starting your fall winter, aren't you?
Yeah, we're just starting our fall winter. We haven't hit winter yet. We're in autumn, so
Awesome.
the leaves are falling off the trees and everything's gone brown.
Well, for everything that dies, there'll be life again. That's the whole purpose of the four seasons. I actually watched something the other day that was really cool that described the four seasons and how plant life and animal life kind of do their cycle of life, and we're the only ones that kind of just survive. So we need some seasons. Yeah. Jill Humphreys, how are you today?
Well, hello everybody. I'm really good, thank you, and congratulations on this 6-month event.
Yeah, I don't think
I can't believe it. I cannot believe it's 6 months. My God, look at the ground we've actually covered in that 6 months. It's like awesome, awesome. Thank you very much for the invites.
Oh, thanks for being here. Yeah, and sometimes I'm like, well, you know, because I sent out those messages to figure out what we're going to talk about and what topics to go about, and I'm always like, well, we're going to do something we already did, but we're almost at that point where we should almost start going over what we've already done, because we've covered so much ground in that 6 months that it's just incredible. So, but the good thing is that we haven't really overlapped, so that means that we're continuing to learn and learn and learn. So we've always got information and value to pass along to everyone else, which is super cool. Big fan of that. Let me try to set this up here. So today, did I get everybody? Scott, how are you? I got you, I think. How are you doing today?
Yeah, we've sort of touched, but yeah, I'm great, thanks, Julie. Yeah, I can't believe that it's 6 months either. It's really flown by, and the amount of information is that's been covered, as Jill said, is phenomenal. So here's to another 6 months, eh?
Yeah. I don't recall anything I've done for 6 months in a while. So this consistently, I mean, we've been pretty good. We've been able to cover it pretty good. So I'm excited about that. Today we have something that's pretty valuable. Actually, we're going to talk about business models or not business models, but business plans and your online business. And a lot of people think that just because you're starting your own business and you're not getting a whole lot of financing from banks, and a lot of people think that business plans are just about getting financing, and that's kind of not 100% correct. Business plans are really there to keep you on track and kind of put you in a position where you can set goals and know what you're doing personally. So it's not all about just getting financing from the bank. So even if you're a one-person show, I think everybody on this panel agrees that it's very important to get a business plan set up, even if it's not a super formal, because I know a real business plan is so hard and so confusing, and there's so many different levels of it. There's like the summary and description and the marketing plan and this, that, and the other thing. But what are your thoughts, Sandra? This was kind of you kind of brought this up, which was a great idea. I think it's important. What were you thinking about as far as business plans and why you should have one as a solopreneur or an online entrepreneur?
Well, I think it's important as an online entrepreneur, owner-operator. I feel it's important to actually do up a business plan, even if it's a smaller version of the bigger business plan that you do if you're going into a brick and mortar business. But because it does keep you on track, if you put good points in there, a description of your company, like your business, what are you going to be doing? Like, what have you got to offer? So, write out a short description, make that the start of your business plan. So you are focused in your mind as to what you're offering to people who are going to come to your online business. And then you could do up a financial model as well. I did a financial model up for myself when I first started, and in my financial model, I just put things down like, what I expected, what revenues I expected to get out of the business in a certain amount of time, and what expenses I'd have, and how much I was going to need to fund this whole going online with business, because you're going to have a computer, you're going to have the internet. There are a few things that you got to take into consideration. You need power in your house to run your computer, to run your internet, and that sort of stuff. So those sort of things can be considered as expenses in your online business. And then I still took into consideration the risk mitigating milestones into my business plan before I started my business, because I felt that was a really important inclusion to have. And it does keep you on track, because if you've got your business plan there and you've got it on your desk or on your board somewhere where you can see it regularly, you do stick to staying on track, and you get it and you look at it regularly and you go, okay, what have I done? What haven't I done? What do I need to get done? Instead of treating your online business like a hobby, you'll actually treat it more like a business, because you have a serious business plan written down for it. So I think it's important, if you're going to go online, to at least start with even a small business plan is better than nothing. And you should put your expectations as far as your return on your investment, because there is going to be an expense. There's always going to be an expense with any business you go into. So it's reasonable to have an expectation of a return on your investment.
You made a good point when you talked about it keeps you on track. Not only that, but it makes you transition from having a hobby to having a business. Because so many people fail to realize that, and I did this for years. I did this for, I would say, more than not. I did this. I treated my business as a hobby. Like, all right, I've got a couple extra minutes here to do this. I've got a couple extra minutes. I got an hour today. Well, it's Sunday. It's raining out. Oh, I can work on it today. Where now, because I do have a business plan or a blueprint, like we've been discussing with Jay Kubicek, is now I actually set aside time. Now I know that between 6 and 8 every night is when I concentrate on my business. On Saturdays, whether it's, and I have a schedule, and I've set that up in my blueprint and in my business plan, to where now I actually do business things. I don't just screw around on Facebook. And I do screw around on Facebook, but I shouldn't. But that's an important part, because so many people do consider it just a hobby, and then they don't realize why they're not making it. And, it took me years to realize, well, why it's not working. I'm not getting leads. I'm not getting any traction. I keep bouncing around. And it's because I just had no direction. And it was a hobby for me. It was like, and my wife would call it, it's a hobby. Take it seriously or don't take it seriously. And I decided to take it seriously. And it's been growth ever since. So I'm very excited, and that was a good point. What about you, Jill? I know you're big on the blueprint and your model and how you run your business.
Yeah, actually, Sandra and I were having a long talk about this the other day, because Sandra's been invaluable helping me get my coaching website and everything done, and we were talking about business plans. And for me, the biggest thing is your direction, obviously your vision, and then the focus on your first year, 3 years, 5 years. And she was talking about a template, and the template actually covers, areas that you've got to focus on. Like she just said, return of your investment and what your revenues that you're looking for. I think without it, how can you possibly take it seriously? Because I think a document, no matter if you just write a paragraph, like we were talking about the blueprint and everything, I think the documents, when you actually write it down, you physicalize it. And suddenly you find that you're writing down, you think, wow, this is powerful stuff. This is this is coming out of me, and this is obviously what I want. And as you rightly say, Yuli, it doesn't have to be anything legal as such, but if it gives you a direction and it gives you a focus, and you work on that and you expand on that, then suddenly that becomes a reality, and suddenly that becomes your reality. And it's your business. I think, personally, without it, I don't really think you've got a business.
I agree. Yeah.
My dog you might hear my dog in the background. It's finally nice out, so they're outside. So I read something on entrepreneur.com today while I was doing a little research, and it says when you're the founder, the only person holding you accountable to those results on a daily basis is you. So your plan becomes a baseline for monitoring your progress. So not only is it where you're going, but it's a big factor on what have you done. I mean, is it working? Is it not working? And you start to focus it, and it's your steering wheel. It's your guide.
Correct.
So yeah, that's a great point. It's invaluable. It does take your business from just something that you're doing to an actual physical entity. So that's where we're going. Steve, are you with us? You think, or?
Yeah.
No, can't hear you.
Not anymore.
You were there for a second. I know that's frustrating. That's awful.
We heard that.
Yeah. We heard you cursing, that's for sure.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we heard you, Steve.
Hang on a second, I think I heard him.
Yeah? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Very briefly, what the girls have both been talking about is the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland. When Alice asked the Cheshire Cat, which road should I take? And the Cheshire Cat turned around and said, well, where do you want to go? She said, well, I don't really care. So, well, it don't matter which way you go.
Yeah.
If you don't know where you want to go, plan is you start at the end point and work out backwards how it is you're going to get there.
You're cutting out a little
along the way.
Yeah.
I think he was talking.
I don't know if you heard any of that.
We got the gist. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Sri. Sri, you were saying?
No, I think he was talking about reverse engineering.
Yeah, reverse planning, which is huge. We in the Marine Corps, in the United States Marine Corps, we used to do, for any mission or any objective, we do everything in reverse planning. We'd have, what is our final mission? What is the objective? And then we reverse plan everything from that point forward to where we are right now, which is an incredible way of doing it. And I didn't really get it until you actually put it into practical application, where you start with the end in mind, which I don't know I think anybody in self-development, Brian Tracy or anybody, Zig Ziglar or Tony Robbins, I think that's primarily their starting point. You start with your end in mind and then work your way back. And then, because it's easier to figure out how to get somewhere when you know where you want to be than it is just to walk around and aimlessly and figure out what you want.
Yep.
Scott, what are you working towards in your business plan, as far as what do you have set up for your business plan, and how do you move forward and kind of track your progress in your business?
Well, like you said at the start, initially I thought a business plan was something that you would take to a bank, to arrange finance. It was this really complicated document that really, I didn't think I needed to do at the time. And, I don't know why, it's just that mentality I think a lot of people probably get about such a business plan. It makes it sound not very attractive. You don't really want to sit down and actually put everything down on paper, I think, when you want to just be going and, I guess, doing what you want to do. So I didn't actually do a business plan at the start, and it's probably the worst thing, you could do when you're actually starting out. So now I do. Now I have a plan of where I want to go. But I've achieved this, I think, through doing like the blueprints and stuff through the SFM. So I know you have that vision, and then, as you were saying, you're able to connect the dots going back, but you're not able to connect them going forward. So you have to have that idea of what you want to achieve. Otherwise, you're not really going to achieve anything, which is important. And so yeah, in terms of what I actually have in place is just a vision of what I want, and then sub goals, which are so not like a formal business plan as such as you would take to a bank, but a version of it that does the same thing that works for me.
Yeah, business plans are confusing. I remember even when I started my first construction company, and I wasn't even going for finance, but I thought it just makes sense to have something in my head or on paper on what I want to do.
Yeah.
Any template that you pull out that is for business. I mean, and I did some today. There's the summary of the business, there's the business description, there's your market and your marketing strategy, there's your competitive analysis, there's design and development, there's operations and management, and then there's financial tools and financing. Who the heck is supposed to do all that stuff? That just seems so hard to do, and I think that's a huge deterrent for people, especially when it's, solopreneurs or online one-man shows or one-woman shows who are just trying to make a little extra cash. But like Scott said, it's not all that. I mean, it's important to get a direction.
And people don't realize, do they? That, you've just listed out all the things that a business owner needs to do, and people go into business not really realizing that they need to do all that. They think, well, somebody else will do it, but there is nobody else.
It's you. That's it. You're the guy. You're the person.
Yeah. You're going to wear all those hats.
Yeah. Sri, you've been super busy in your business, and I mean, you've got you've just been doing a whole bunch of stuff. You've got a membership club that's coming, or a membership site that you're starting to launch, which is super impressive and cool. So you've either got so many windows open in your head and so many tabs open in your brain, or you've got a specific plan that you're just going with. What's your secret? What's Sri's secret? What's the secret? The secret.
I have a specific plan, but I also have ADD. And therefore, so many windows keep opening up all the time.
Right, they just pop open.
But the membership site right now that I'm working on is close to your topic of business plan, because the membership site actually has products for people who are starting to get into business or have just started in their business and haven't got a clue as to the administration side of it. It's going to teach them how to actually have their business plan, and how to actually go and increase their bottom line. So that's basically what my membership site is going to do.
And that's the Business Booster Academy? Business
Booster Academy, yes.
Yeah. That's cool, because I mean, there are a lot of people that have no idea or even concepts. Especially in online world, because there's so many different opportunities, there's so many different business models that someone just gets, someone all of a sudden gets they sign up with a business, whatever business it is, or they sign up with an opportunity, whatever opportunity that is, and then their first thing they're told to do is go blast your warm market, go get your friends, your family, your workmates, anybody that you can, and try to get them to join. And that doesn't really give them a whole lot of, and then that's all that they think the business is. They think that that's all that is required. And they start spending a little money on this education, and spending a little money on this, and spending a little money on this, where they start putting it all together is when they start seeing a direction. And I think that's why this topic's important, and what you're doing, Sri, is important, because a lot of people don't have that in business.
And this is a genuine void that's in the market right now. People do want to get into business and make the switch to online marketing, but they don't have all the tools and resources. So I thought might as well fill that gap because people need it.
Mm.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's most of the great things in the world are, with invention is the mother, no, necessity is the mother of all invention.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's a great point. So what are your biggest recommendations as far as how to get started with, say, a business plan or a blueprint? And I know as a member of the Six Figure Mentors, you have access to the 90-day blueprint, which gives you your foundation for building your blueprint and your business plan and getting I mean, it's not even just business; it's about your life in general.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's the blueprint is more specific to in any direction you want to go. But a business plan is more specific to your business, where the blueprint is, I think, where you want to be. Where do you personally want to be in your business, and who are you going to be when your business gets to that point?
Right. But I mean, business plan is an integral part of the overall financial plan. You cannot have it plucked out and dealt with separately, because at some point in time it's going to come back, and it has to fit in the overall financial plan is what I think. If it doesn't, then that business won't succeed, period.
So you think that in that business plan you should have your financing, obviously, not only how much you plan on making, but how much you can afford to invest monthly in your business plan, how much you can afford to invest in your marketing. Bottom line is just know your numbers, is know exactly where you're going and how far you can go and how far you can reach on a monthly basis and track
Absolutely.
it that way.
I mean, as Scott said, I mean, it ends, you are it. It stops with you. There is nobody else behind you to take care of what you're doing. You have to know what your numbers are. You have to know where, I mean, if you're planning to say this is how much I'm going to make, that plan has to have some basis. How are you expecting to get that money? Do you have confirmed leads that you think will convert over a period of time? Do you have to go get leads? What are your plans to get the leads? How much marketing budget do you have available? And once you have a budget, it's not just money throwing at the wall. You got to figure out how much each dollar you're spending is getting back to you in terms of revenue. So it's almost like a science, but I mean, if I say it's a science, it'll scare people off, and they don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So
it's a formula. I mean, it's all part of the system.
There is a method to the madness.
Yeah. And that's what people don't, and I took me a long time to figure that out as well, was, knowing my numbers is, I knew how much money I had to invest every month, but even until I got started with Six Figure Mentors or the Digital Experts Academy, I was really just throwing noodles at the wall and see what stuck. I wasn't I was bouncing around so much that I didn't know what I was promoting. I didn't know who I was promoting it to. I didn't have any idea who my audience was. I didn't know who my avatar was. I didn't have any of that information. I was just blindly heading into the realm of business ownership and getting nowhere. And that's
each month you have your fixed expenses, no matter what you do or what you don't do. You got to pay your membership dues to SFM. You got to pay your Aweber dues. You got to pay a whole bunch of things just to have your business model in place. Yep. And so you got to be recovering that from your income each month just to stay afloat and not go negative, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
All your the variable costs, which you can control, but again, depending on how much you control, you might be also cutting off your revenues coming in, because if you say, I'm only going to put $10 in marketing this month, don't expect leads to come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're better off saving your $10, $20 a month and waiting 2 or 3 months and then having a bigger campaign. And maybe if that's the case, maybe if you can only afford $10, $20, $30 a month for marketing, instead of setting up a monthly budget, set up like a quarterly marketing campaign where you do your blogging, your free marketing for the first 2 or 3 months, and then at the end, then you do your paid campaign and kind of try to wrap it all together. That way you have a bigger budget to get it all going. But that's the big reason for a plan. You have to know that ahead of time.
Yeah, you got to have your time, or you got to have money, one of the two.
Right.
if you say I don't have time or money, then you can't expect your business to grow.
Right. Unless you outsource everything, but you need money to do that too. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, obviously, we're talking a lot about online marketing businesses such as the SFM and stuff, but I've had the opportunity to look at offline marketing business plans and stuff and help them recently. And some of those, I mean, they look at break-even analysis of anywhere up to 3 years since the business started. You know, that is normal for an offline business. Mm-hmm. So the beauty, I guess, of an online business is obviously you can get that down, you know, but it's still going to be a number of months, and you need to know, as Cherie's saying, you know, your financials behind it. You need to know what's going out every month, what you're putting in every month, and at what point you're going to be in profit, I guess, and what you can be reinvesting all the time. It's good to know those stats, and I think because people think that it's online or something, that it happens instantly, when really, you know, it is a business.
It's true though, but that is a huge misconception, Scott. Because I'm living proof that, I mean, I didn't believe the hype that I was going to make millions overnight. I mean, I wasn't naive in that aspect, but I was naive in the aspect of that it really is work. It takes work to achieve success in this industry. It's not a couple of buttons here. I can't just jump online, you know, right before I go to sleep and send out a couple of Facebook posts and maybe, I mean, it takes time. It takes time to develop your business plan, and then it takes time to develop your personality. If you're going to be an online marketer, I mean, especially in today's day and age, and I think in the future, I mean, or right now, having a personality like where your videos come into play and you're the way you write and the way people want to perceive you is dramatically a huge part of your business. And I had no concept of any of that prior to this, none. So I can't blame anybody for my lack of success at the time other than myself. But I had, you know, of course I blame the product, or I blame the you know, the lessons I just learned, or, you know, it had to be in the company, or it was the product. You know, it was never me.
Yeah.
And that's
it's
a huge.
Always Sandra.
What's that?
It's always been Sandra. It's her fault.
Business plan
I knew it.
that I did. I actually did a proper business plan, but I only took 10 critical steps. I only used the 10 most critical steps in a business plan. I actually got the proper paperwork and did up a proper business plan, went to the accountant, got him to help me fix it up where it needed to be fixed up. And I actually, whilst on down to the bank with the business plan, this is when I, you know, started the SFM and I wanted to start my one-stop eye shop business. And I was just doing it as a trial run just to see, you know, if it was possible to muster up some financing from a bank in the forms of a business loan to start an online business. So I actually took that business plan down to my bank, sat there with the bank manager. I mean, I was only looking for $10,000 funding, and my business plan was spread over 3 years. Yeah. And I went into, and they actually cleared me. I could have a $10,000 business loan now if I want, but I just
that's awesome.
Yeah, and that's like a drop in the bucket to a brick and mortar business. That, you know, that's
like
$50,000 just to even think about it.
Yeah.
Well, if not more, because if you're thinking a brick and mortar business, it's going to be about 3 years before you break even. If you're selling product, well, you need to take into consideration in your business plan that you're going to have to restock your product. You know, there's always going to be restocked. Then you've got to think of damaged stocks. You've got to take into variables. You know, if there's some sort of thing in nature that may happen, like, you know, the damage, like a break-in, which will cause, you know, damage not only to the shop itself but the stock, theft, weather, flooding, fire, that sort of thing. You know, they're all variables that you've got to add into your business plan, because you know, at the end of the day, the people that you're trying to raise capital from for your business, whether that be an online business that you're going to run yourself, well, obviously you're asking yourself to be the lender of the capital for your business, aren't you? So you need to almost split yourself in half and play a double personality type thing and go, well, okay, over here I'm the lender, I'm going to be the person supplying the capital. So I want to, I want to know what my risk is and what my return on that investment's going to be. And over there, you're the business owner trying to start the online business, and that's really how you need to look at it. Even any business, but and you've got to take into account all these sort of things. And in your business plan, you also need to include in that business. I don't know if many people do this, but you need to include in that business. One of my 10 critical steps is why are you uniquely qualified to succeed in your business? And you need to list why you feel you're uniquely qualified to succeed in your business, whether that be past experiences, skills that you've picked up from other jobs, but you need to list it all.
My hair?
And do you have a killer marketing campaign set up? Why are you uniquely qualified? Because if you have that in your business plan, on the days that you are really struggling and you're feeling down, you're thinking, I can't do this, if you go back to your business plan and have a look at that, you'll see in that business plan why you felt you were qualified to do this. And you'll be sitting there thinking, well, okay, I said I could do this. I have these qualities. I have these skills. And I've learnt these extra skills. So you could leave a little bit of extra space in that. So each time you pick up new skill sets, you can add them to, why are you uniquely qualified to succeed in this business that you're running. And
that's great, Sandra.
And it all comes into place.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
That is, I guess that proves the point. Some people think an online business is going to be shunned by most people, but if you've got and put the time and effort in and then had a bank approve it, which is not easy. I don't know when you did it, but obviously recession and what have you, they're pretty tough to get past in general.
That was only last year, Scott, that I did that. June last year.
Yeah, they're still tough now to get past, aren't they? But that'd be even worse last year. So.
You made a great point, Sandra. You talked about how, I have a full-time job. I have a career, and my online business for now is my part-time, hence the part-time business builder. And you're right, I need to set it up as though I'm the bank, and I'm loaning my company, my entity, that money, and I want that money back. So as that part-time business builder, I expect a return on my I expect to be able to pay him back, which is me. So I don't invest this in anything. So it's confusing. If you think about it, it's a little confusing, but you're two different people. You're wearing two different hats, and this person's lending this person money, and this person expects that money back. So this person has to make money in order to pay this person back. And I'm going to break my knee if I don't pay myself back.
Yeah.
Well, before you loan your company the money, you're going to look at it and you're going to go, well, if you look at a business plan that's not written, you're not going to loan. You have to look at it this way. Okay, over here's Yuli, part-time business builder who wants to turn that into a full-time business. Over here is Yuli, the bank. Okay, Yuli, part-time business builder, comes to you with a couple of points written down on paper and says, I need you to fund this for me for the next 3 years. I'm going to need marketing money. I'm going to need, money for this. I'm going to need money for that. And Yuli, the bank, looks at it and goes, well, what is on here that would make me loan this person money for that business venture? So think of it as if you're looking at the business plan for a total stranger, and would you loan that total stranger that amount of money? And if you wouldn't loan that total stranger that amount of money, well then, you shouldn't loan it to yourself. You should slap yourself around the ears and go away and go, okay, I need a better business plan. I'm not going to get capital. I'm not going to get financing on this.
You're right. I lent myself money for years, and I wouldn't have lent that money to anybody else with my kind of plan. I would have left them out of the bank. I would get out of Bank of Yuli. Get out of here now. But I thought about that in the past, and I've always kind of had that. But you brought it really down to the basics, where it's if I wouldn't lend myself that money for my business plan, why would anybody else? Even if I'm not trying to get it, it's just not a solid business plan. It's not a solid plan at all. So that plan is extremely important when it comes to that kind of philosophy and that thought process, which is awesome. That's great. Great thought. Yeah. And then, again, why you're uniquely qualified to succeed, and then you have your strengths, your skills, and your experiences, and you're constantly modifying that list.
Yeah.
That's great. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, because, I mean, the business plan will also say, where is your nearest competition? And what have you got that they haven't?
Which comes down to why you're uniquely qualified to succeed.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's all linked, because they ask, well, where is the nearest? What's your competition doing? You know,
competitive analysis that they ask for.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. But I think, you know, getting right back to where we're talking about this tonight, if anybody's watching it, they're going to be thinking, oh my God, this sounds too complicated. I don't want to even bother. You have to bother, because a lot of us, I can totally relate, Yuli. I mean, I was just like, it doesn't matter, I'll pay that this month, and the education I'm getting, and I looked at it as an investment in me at first, not as a business to get money.
Exactly.
That's how I looked at it at first. And I think people come into this business, they have no idea either of the product range, if they want to go up different levels for different amount of training and different commission basis. That's another thing. Until you actually get in it and you understand how it totally works, you really haven't got that sense of direction unless you come to it with a business mind. Like Sri's got, you know, a mastership in it as far as I'm concerned. But, you know, for me, I've never gone into business before on my own as such, or treated it that seriously. I have got other businesses, and yet I treat them as hobbies. But it's a real wake-up call when you come into something like this and you grow and expand and you get people around you, and you suddenly think, hang on a minute, you know, this is their business. They haven't got anything else. This pays for absolutely all. I mean, Greg and Fiona, Stuart and Jay, our co-founders and everything. Obviously, you know, they've got other businesses, but they started off making their money by doing what they're doing, and you know, so it's a complicated matter, and I hope we haven't complicated it too much or frightened anybody. But you really got to be real and realise that, you know, you don't just come into it. And then I think we spoke about it earlier, about expecting it to be instant cash.
Yeah.
So you know that somebody might think, oh well, do you know what? I'll try it for 6 months, and then if it doesn't work, I'll just pack it in. I won't bother anymore.
Yeah.
You've got to be in it. In this for the long term. Yes.
You'll do that for every business that you start. I mean, it really is. I mean, I've seen people succeed with the dumbest things, and it's because they didn't have that mentality, like, oh, I'll just try it for 6 months, and that was my fault. That was my problem. I would start things for 6 months and just give it, you know, again, blaming everybody else and not pointing that way, but pointing that way at Sandra down there. but like you said, this is getting a little complicated there because there's so much to think about. But the main idea isn't complicated. There isn't a template. We're not trying to say that you should go out there and you know, list this. You know, like with Sandra, the way she started with why are you uniquely qualified to succeed, that's a great start. All right, why should I even be in business? Why, you know, it doesn't have to be this long, complicated report that you're submitting to a bank, but it does have to be something that at least gets you started in the right direction. And I think that's step number one. And then two, like, who are you competing with? You know, just so you know, and not only know that it's your competition, but there's valuable information in knowing who your competition is. I mean, knowing how they're doing the market, what's working, what's not working. Oh, they're doing this, and nobody seems to like that. I'll try this. So, you know, your competition and having that competitive analysis isn't necessarily just so you know that they're out there and that they're coming to get you. It's more about learning from them. And you know, they've been there for a little while. Maybe they've been there for 20 years, and maybe you just have a better idea, or maybe you have a better way of doing something, and that's going to expand your experience and make you just more competitive in that realm. Yeah. What are, you said you had 10 criteria, Sandra.
Well, if you're going to go to a bank for a loan, yeah, there's 10 critical there's 10 critical points that you need to cover for a business loan. But for just starting out, to break this down and make it less complicated for people, so that they're not quaking in their shoes, I would say go with 4. And the 4 that I would pick would be, your financial model. Basically, your expected revenues, what you expect, your expenses, how much you can invest into your online business, so that that way, depending on how much you feel you can invest to start off with, will depend on how much you can expect to get back out of it. So I'd say go your financial model. Probably I'd put in there your risk mitigating milestones, which that's where the rubber meets the road. That shows the action. That's like your action plan for success. And then I'd probably put in the why are you uniquely qualified. That would be the main one. I wouldn't even look at starting a business without that. Why are you uniquely qualified? I mean, that would be the first one I'd start with. I'd write that down on paper. Because if you don't feel that you have any qualifications to run any sort of business at all, whether it be a multi-level marketing business offline or an online business, even if it's just a little online affiliate marketing business, where you think I'm going to be an affiliate, I see these other people, they're selling things from Amazon, and you think, well, I'm going to sell stuff on Amazon. You need to ask yourself, why are you uniquely qualified to succeed in that? And then you go on, that will help you move off into the direction of looking into what do I need to set up that business? And you'll find out you need a domain name, you need a website, a little bit of social media. So I'd stick to 4. But if you're going to go for a loan from the bank for something like that, you're going to need to include the 10 critical steps.
They ask for so much.
Yeah, they do.
The banks need
more like the 10 commandments.
Pretty much need to know the colour of your underwear when you start.
Yeah.
Or maybe go in with it just on.
No, we're in. How about that? So, Sri, I'm going to come back to you a little bit here because a lot of these things are probably right up your alley, being that you have a background in numbers and financing and architecture, accounting.
Architecture too, maybe.
Really? I could use your help. What are like some of the things like Sandra was talking about? Return on investment, expenses, investments, risk mitigation, action plan. I mean, I think a marketing plan is important. But what would be more important, having your having the numbers of what your marketing plan you should be doing for that, or is it more of the strategies? Because a lot of people don't have the strategies when they first start, or the tactics.
Well, I mean, to put it in very simple terms, if you want to know about a person, you read their book, their biography. The business plan is like the biography of a business. You need to know what's in there, and your destination is the last page. So unless you write the full 200 or 300 pages, you won't get to the end. You just can't just write the end and say this is the end. You got to have the plan. You got to have the chapters in. You got to have the action task, which are each page in that book, which will ultimately get you to the last page of the book. Which means you got to have the complete overall vision, and then you got to break it out into all the individual tasks and subtasks. And when I talk about tasks, it's both the operations, the finance, the administration. If you have to hire people or subcontract or outsource, everything fits into this one. It's a huge thing, and I mean, we don't want to overcomplicate it, but at the same time, we don't want to oversimplify it either. There's just too much in a business plan, and if somebody is planning to get into a business for 6 months, I can tell you to put together a business plan takes a couple months. So if you're going to invest so much time into a business just for putting the plan together, why do you want to just be in there for 6 months to check it out? You better be serious about what you want to do and think it through before you get into it. Otherwise, you're wasting everybody's time, and your time is precious.
Yeah, I think that's one of the problems, and is that a lot of people get into these businesses thinking that they are just going to run themselves, and I'm just going to take an hour or two here. And this is valuable information, and the information that you keep in your business plan it's the roadmap. I wouldn't travel to India and say, or anywhere else in the world, and go, all right, I'm just going to try to figure out where I'm going without a map. I mean, or at least GPS or a map, or at least somebody telling me how to get there. Like a mentor or something.
Can you imagine being in the flight and then halfway through the pilot says, "Oh, I don't know where I'm going right now. I don't have a plan. I don't have a map."
I mean, could you imagine going to your builder,
Or if you go to a doctor for something that's seriously bothering you, and he says, "I suppose you have cancer, but I don't know."
Yeah.
How does that make you feel? I mean, as a business owner, you got to know what you're dealing with. You can't just post things.
Good analogy.
Well, every project has a plan, doesn't it? I mean, that's why a lot of large companies have project managers, because the project managers are responsible for putting together that plan for that project. I mean, you're not going to hire a builder to build your house if you don't have the plans, because you hire the builder to build your house and go, build me a house, he's going to go, well, where are the plans?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm building unless I have a plan.
Yeah.
Have you had the plans drawn up by the architect?
Yeah.
You're going to make a mess of it otherwise, aren't you? Just putting a few bricks together.
But again,
I've made you this.
Back to this, I mean, doing a business plan doesn't mean you got to know every single detail of it right now. You go with the best information you have at this moment, and you always have enough flexibility in the plan so that if some unknown thing happens, you're still able to deal with it. It's not too rigid and too structured and regimented that any small change will just collapse it completely. You got to have it flexible. At the same time, you got to know that you don't know everything. And if required, get some professional help doing it. Nothing wrong with it.
Well, going back to the house analogy, I mean, how many times does something change when you're building a house? Oh, this has happened. Yuli, you must know that, above everyone. And you see it on the programs and everything.
It's countless change that can change all the time.
It's also like when you have a job done in a house. It's what you discover that needs added extra. Or like when I had my kitchen downstairs taken out, the whole drainage collapsed.
And I guess this is a good point, because
we hadn't banked for that.
Yeah. And I guess it's a good point, because even though you have your plan evolves as you go along.
That's what Sri was saying, wasn't it? You've always almost got to plan for the unplanned as well.
Expect it to change. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's hard to cut a window in a stone foundation, but it's easier when it's made out of wood. So keep it to where you can always cut a window in if you need to cut a window in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in kind of not wrapping it up a little bit, but kind of in summary, so a business plan doesn't need to be that formatted. Like you look it up online and you'll find a million different templates on all the different things that a business plan needs to have in it in order to be successful. I don't think that's true. I don't think anybody on this panel thinks that that's true. There's a couple key elements that you need in there, and your goals, your where you want to be, a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, a 6-month plan. I read some earlier today, but I can't seem to find it where I put it now. Yeah, I can't find it. And another good reason, and it's another good reason to have a business plan is if you decide that, in 5 years you are big enough to where you can start hiring employees. You don't have to. You can just hand to that person that business plan or your blueprint, and that person can take it from there and be like, okay, you might have to do a little bit of training, but for the most part, you don't have to go over your whole plan with them. They'll know exactly what to do. They'll know what your visions are, where your goals are, where you expect to be, and where your numbers are based off of that based off of that plan. Or if you ever decide to sell your business, that way that next person taking over has an idea of where your thoughts were on where, because it could be completely different than what they thought, and your ideas might be much greater than theirs. So.
Yeah.
Well, you won't grow a business without a plan. If you haven't got some form of a plan, business plan drafted up, your business won't grow. Because if you keep it in your head, it's all going to come out muddled. So, you know, get it down on paper. And like Sri said, you know, there's nothing wrong with getting some professional help to put it together. I mean, if you can't do it yourself, sometimes it's good to outsource and get somebody who's experienced at doing that to give you a hand. I mean, I did. I mean, it didn't cost me much to go to the accountant and get him to go over what I'd already had. I mean, I drafted it. I had it up on the proper paperwork and stuff, and I had a few extra notes in a notepad. You know, and I sat there with the accountant. It took me like all of an hour. It was cheap enough, and he helped me, you know, put the finishing touches on the business plan so I could take it to the bank. And in June last year, I took it to the bank. I mean, I could have walked out of there with 10 grand.
You should have come over here with that money. We could have a little party.
You know, not that I needed it, but you know, and that was based on a 3-year plan for my business that I was building, my aloe vera business, One Stop Aloe Shop. That was based on a 3-year plan. You know, and they were going to quite happily hand over the 10 grand. You know, and I had, you know, they were going to put in the facility for me to, you know, redraw on that money if I needed extra, and give me a credit card and everything. It's like I thanked the bank manager and stuff, and I said, can I go home and give this some thought?
Yeah, I didn't expect you to say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the bank manager looked at me rather strange, because I don't think they'd had anyone sort of go, oh, can I go away and give this some thought?
Most people are like, yes.
Yeah, snatch your
I'm
handle.
making a $5 bill, babe. Give me $5 bills. Yeah, I mean, basically, it's your roadmap. It's not only where you're going, but it kind of lets you know where you've been, and you can backtrack and, you know, like we've said, you know, what works, what didn't work, you know, where's my budget, how much can I afford to do it, how much can I afford to put into my business on a monthly basis. That's funny. Scott and Sri both look to their left at the same exact time, and they're in different continents.
I didn't realize that.
That's funny.
We've been practicing that.
I thought somebody was walking into the house. There was some kind of movement, so I thought, who was it?
It was a hangout host.
That's how somebody closed the door just outside mine. So.
Yeah.
Two things. Yeah.
Well, this is again. It seems as though every topic that we cover we can cover forever, and we can continue to talk about it. And I just wanted to include some resources that are incredibly important in for this topic, covering your business plan. So not only are the folks on this panel, who would be great resources, if you're listening to any of them and you have any questions about what you should be doing to build your business plan, or how you should be working your blueprint, then go talk to these people. I'm sure no one will have a problem if you wanted to send them an email and figure out what you need help with. As a member of the Six Figure Mentors, again, you have the blueprint training, which is incredibly valuable as far as getting your business set up, and not only your business, but getting your head kind of wrapped around your business, and getting your life wrapped around your business, and how to make everything mesh together, which has been extremely valuable for me. And I go through it, and I review it almost every month. At some point, I go through it again, and I watch the tutorials and the videos and go through those documents, making sure that everything's kind of flowing in my direction. If not, I make adjustments. And also, entrepreneur.com is another resource that I was looking at today, which has, just miles and miles of information on business. I mean, some of it's a little technical, and it's based around a lot of, if you were going for financing. But if you pull that stuff apart and you think about what you're doing, you'll figure out what you need to put inside your plan, and just put it on paper, and then figure out what you need to do next, and get a little plan going. How's that sound?
Yep.
Sounds good.
Awesome resources, yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I think you were the person who actually said, weren't you, Yuli, to Jay, that the blueprint is the boss and you are the employee.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. Once you write that, I mean, there is some give, but once that blueprint is down, that takes your emotions out of it. It's like when you're investing in the stock market. When you set certain parameters, I buy at this I buy at this price level, I sell at this price level. There's no emotion.
Yeah.
You know, there's no feelings that come into it, because once you start putting emotions into investing, that's kind of, you're like, oh, it'll go back up. Oh, I don't need the salary. Oh, I'll buy it here. It doesn't make any sense. You have parameters, and those are the guidelines that you stick by, and that's when you buy, that's when you sell. That's it. Take the emotion out of it. And the blueprint does the same for your business, where this is how I set it up. If I need to make adjustments, I'll make adjustments, but I do it here. That takes the emotion, takes a human out of it. It takes you, who tends to screw things up because you either don't feel like doing something, or
you get out your own way.
Yeah, get you out of your own way. What room are you in now, Sri? Did you move again?
No, I just moved. I just turned.
I thought you were walking around your house again.
No. I should stretch my legs though.
Like an episode of Through the Keyhole.
Yeah. I was here. I just moved
in a house like this.
Yeah. This is Yo Hangout Cribs. You ever watch MTV?
Yeah.
This is Hangout Cribs. We should do a show like that one.
Let's look in your fridge. Come on.
Oh, damn.
Craziness. You still got snow, Sri, for real?
Yes. The roofs are all covered with snow. It's all white.
I don't like that one bit.
You'll be okay. You'll be touching on UK soil tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah. So who here's going to Momentum Day tomorrow?
Yeah.
Sri's going. Jill, you going?
I'm going on Friday.
Scott, you going? You'll go. You always go.
I have a problem, which I'm sorting out. So.
I forgot who it was, but somebody was someone had an extra ticket and they had to cancel. I don't know if you saw that or not. I shared it today.
Yeah, Michelle Makepeace.
Who was it? Yeah, right. Michelle Makepeace. That's a great name.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? She's a great person as well. She's absolutely brilliant. I met her at Momentum Day last year, September.
I met her at the Gold event.
You did?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, well, she's got an extra ticket. I don't know if she's given it away yet, but she had something come up and now she can't go, so.
Yeah.
That's your chance, Scott.
That's not the problem.
Oh.
Well, I won't go into it.
Yeah. But that'll be fun. That'll be a good stuff. So is the weather nice there right now?
No.
To be honest, no.
It's raining for a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we had a major storm earlier, and it really hasn't got back together yet. But I believe that it's going to be kind of cool for the weekend, so it won't really matter. Nothing matters when you're in the academy. You know what I mean? Nothing matters.
You'll be rocking it indoors, so it doesn't really matter. So
we are so looked after at those events, you would not believe.
They are. They go.
All the food, and the service and everything. Oh my God, it's just unbelievable.
We had goodie bags last time for the way
out.
out.
As we were leaving. Oh my God, it was unbelievable.
What's going on? Yeah.
I'm going to an event in Orlando in June, which I'm excited about, and then I'll make my way over there sometime.
Good.
You going to Australia, Yuli?
Well, that's what I'm really thinking about it. That's in Australia. I had an opportunity to go to Australia when I was in the military, but I didn't extend to do it, and so ever since then I've been kicking myself for not going. So that when is that? November?
28th.
November the 28th. 2 days after my birthday, because I turned 26th is my birthday.
Yeah,
Nice.
They have the 29th, 30th, 31st, 32nd, and 33rd.
That's the gold platinum events, Where it's different down under.
Are you going to be? Is that near where you are, Sandra, or?
No, it's a 10-hour drive away from me, so I'll fly down.
Is it? Where is it, in Sydney?
It's in Sydney,
Was it the Sydney Marriott or something, or the?
Yeah.
It's at well, there's two Marriotts in Sydney, but it's the Sydney Marriott in Pitt Street. So yeah,
Okay.
I won't stay at the Marriott in Pitt Street though. I'll probably just, because I'm flying down, I'll probably just grab one of the hotels out at the airport, which is near the train station, and then I'll just train it straight through to Pitt Street and walk up to the Marriott.
Cool.
Is that the now there's a gold event, there's the Momentum Day and a gold event, or is it just the gold and black?
No. There's Momentum and the gold platinum and event. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, guys. Anybody listening that is interested in heading out and meeting some incredible people in Sydney, Australia, November 2014, just all you got to do is become a member of the Six Figure Mentors and book it. That's it, right? I mean, it's that simple.
Yeah.
You know, position yourself to where you can go into the gold event or the platinum event if you want to go and get some more extensive training. And but otherwise, all SFM members are welcome to the Momentum Day, and it'll be nice weather then, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful weather in November. That's when we have the best weather all year round, is in November, because my birthday's in November, you see. So.
Yeah.
I know Stuart and Jay are like so excited about going down there. They can't believe it, because neither of them have been before. So they were like two little boys the other night saying, "Oh, look at Australia!"
Yeah. I guess I should start. I got to talk to the Bank of Yulee and see what they say.
Yes. Talk to the Bank of Yulee.
Yeah. The Yulee
Writes
guys.
it into your plan.
Well, I gotta change. I gotta meet them and do, wear a tie. They're really strict over at that bank. Really.
Are you going to take him out to dinner? Are you going to do it right? Take him out to dinner.
Yeah, I've got time.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Give him enough beers.
Yeah, right.
If you just talk about bikes all night, he'll be really happy. I'm sure he'll lend you the money.
Yeah, I'll take the chairman of the bank out for a couple drinks later after this. Get him all loopy. He gives money away when he's loopy.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Something to remember.
Yeah, I've got my ticket booked. I said to Greg and Fiona Scott the other night when I was on a hangout with them, with our Down Under group, I said to them, I've got my ticket booked. I don't care if I have to hitchhike down there and sleep at the train station on the seat, but I'll be at Momentum Day.
That's fun. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. With your T-shirt, don't forget your T-shirt. Don't forget the words on it.
What room are you going to go into next? Oh, watch those stairs. Don't fall down the stairs, Sri.
I'm actually sitting in a couch, if you can believe it.
Yeah, I like it.
It
It looks awful sunny over there.
The inside of the house is sunny.
You have special windows?
Yeah.
When are you leaving for London? Tomorrow?
I'm leaving tomorrow night.
Cool.
So
Awesome.
what time do you land?
Hopefully the pilot knows, I don't know.
You don't know what time you get here?
The pilot's got a plan.
I'm sure I have to go check my ticket. I haven't checked my ticket. It leaves
That's
at
okay.
10 p.m.
I was just wondering if you got a night flight or something or not.
It is a night flight. I'm leaving tomorrow night at 10 p.m. here. So,
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's a 9-hour flight, so 9 plus 7, 16. I'll be there in the afternoon, about 3 o'clock, I think.
On the Thursday.
On the Thursday. What day is it today? Tuesday? Yeah, Thursday.
Okay.
How much for a plan? All right, guys, we're at our hour mark. So I wanted to sign off and thank everybody again. This was a great topic, and I think that we'll probably have many more of these because I don't think you can cover all what you need to cover in one sitting. Everybody have fun at Momentum Day. Jill, how does anybody get in touch with you if they need to get in touch with you?
Well, I've got a website, is jill-humphreys.com, and you can find me on Jill Humphreys YouTube, Jill Humphreys 3 Twitter, and come and say hello. I'm on LinkedIn as well. Yeah, welcome one and all. Come and ask me loads of questions, and if I don't know them, one of these guys will.
Sandra, and Sandra, how does I started working with some marketing. Jill just brought up Twitter, so that Twitter marketing. How's that working out for you?
I like the Twitter marketing.
Yeah, I like it too. I think it's easy, it's convenient, and it's a lot of interaction. You get a lot of interaction with your followers or whatever, which I like.
Yeah, I think the quality of leads I find is better. The leads that I had come into my Allo team over the weekend, they came off of Twitter marketing.
Oh, good for you. Cool. It's all about ROI. ROI. I like it.
Yep.
So how does somebody get in touch with you, Sandra, if they're looking to do business with you or just ask you a couple questions?
Yeah, if you want to get in touch with me and ask a couple of questions, get my help with anything, you can just type in my name into Google. You'll find me on there. Facebook, Google+, Twitter, LinkedIn, I'm on all of those. Or you can pop over to my onestopalloshop.com website, and I'm there as well.
And that's the name of it, onestopalloshop.com?
Yep, onestopalloshop.com.
That's very nice. I like the sound of that.
Yeah, it's cool too.
It's very
Great
nice.
site.
Yep. Scott, how do people get in touch with you, and any parting words?
Well, anybody that wants to get in touch with me, scotttaylormccormick.com, or just Google me. There's not many of us around, Scott Taylor McCormick, so I did do a Google search the other day, but yeah, I'm on Facebook. I recently acquired Twitter, but I've not done much with it yet.
It's kind of fun.
Google Plus as well.
You gotta stay on top of Twitter because you just lose so much if you're not on top of it.
Yeah, but I see the power and the marketing side of things as well, because I've been looking a lot at Ryan Dice, and he's been sending out some reports and stuff on Twitter. So yeah, that's how you get in contact with me.
Cool. Well, congratulations on 6 months again.
Yeah.
Quite the ride. Quite the ride. I'm excited.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mr. Pavaraju, now how do people get in touch with you?
Well, on my little banner down there, you have my name. That's how you get in touch with me on Facebook or YouTube. And my website is businessboosteracademy.com, and my email address is also on the banner.
And what is the, as far as your new membership site that you might as well give yourself a little plug here. What are you thinking about? What is it going to be? Businessboosteracademy.com as well?
Yeah, it is the same website. That will be the membership site.
And when are you planning on launching?
I've just lost a week because of the stupid nasty bug, and so most likely it will go live 1st of June.
Cool. Good. You excited?
Terribly.
Well, good. Congratulations and good luck. I think that's a great opportunity for you to, and your business is moving along quite rapidly, which is awesome to see. And I'm Yuli Ribeiro. I'm at parttimebusinessbuilder.com or digitaldirectsales.com. You can contact me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, which I never really check, but I got to get better at that. G+, Google+, so I'm sure you can find me anywhere. There'll be a link somewhere on this page, and I will post everybody else's links on these pages, at least to their website, so that you can find them when you need to. So for right now, thanks again for stopping by and spending your time with us. We appreciate it very much, and we hope to see you next week. Same bat channel, same bat time. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. See you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.